This one here has been tightening up a little over the past few minutes. Now, this is not what the warning was issued for, but either way, here in Lawrence County, you are under this tornado warning. Go ahead, take it. You need to be taking it seriously. Talking to emergency responders, we do know of a missing 1-year-old child, as well as multiple people who were trapped under their mobile homes. Get in that most interior room, take something in there to protect your head, a pillow, a baseball helmet, anything like that. This is a fast-moving storm. The more uniform the atmosphere, such as raindrops, those hydrometeors that are normally picked up by the radar, you're going to have these redder colors here. But whenever you start getting these whites and blues, that is definitely concerning. There are some ice chunks here where ice has fell off of vehicles as they've traveled from Louisiana into Mississippi. It's definitely feeling like I'm in the swamp here in Pearl this evening. We've got lots of sunshine, clear blue skies, but unfortunately, as you said, the heat and the humidity. Unfortunately, we talked about supercells before, how whenever we get supercells, it's usually not a good thing because they've got all that energy to work with. It's going to be faster at the upper levels and then different direction compared to at the surface. So that gives us the rotation. Another hot and humid day with some scattered storms out there. Looking at one of those storms here in the distance in Rankin County. Temperatures have made it up into the upper 80s. We're in the mid 80s now. That rain cooled us down just a couple of degrees, 86, but those dew points in the mid 70s, making it feel very stifling and uncomfortable. As Arthur moves closer, more showers and thunderstorms are starting to build in from the south. Some thunderstorms down in our southern counties. We are dry in the metro, but as these are moving towards the north, we'll likely see some rain here in the next 30 minutes or so. Dottie was a real good cow. She didn't kick me. Now, some of the other cows were a little more rambunctious, I guess. We've had a couple of showers around the metro this morning, but mostly dry here in central Mississippi. But those temperatures are climbing. It is warm and muggy outside, 76 in Jackson, Vicksburg at 79, a little cooler in Natchez and Macomb in the low 70s. But live by Max 12 is mostly dry with the exception of our eastern counties, leaving Smith County, going further to the east into Jasper County. Some good storms here, nothing severe at this time. But as this cold front, this is going to be our weather maker here that brings the potential for these storms later into the afternoon, into the evening. As it moves further south and east, that will bring the severe threat closer to us. An enhanced risk is in place for almost all of central Mississippi and the Pine Belt. A level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for stronger storms. If you're not under the enhanced risk, a level 2 out of 5 slight risk. Either way, you need to stay weather aware. Today, all forms of severe weather are going to be possible. Unfortunately, the tornado threat is higher this time, unfortunately, as well as the threat for damaging hail, flooding, flash flooding as well. And this time the wind threat is actually a bit lower than the tornado and the hail threat, which is kind of the opposite of what we usually see. But this just goes to show you these storms today could be definitely something we need to pay attention to. They'll have the capability of being strong to severe. Now, as we move throughout the next several hours, we're likely to see more development here, expecting it to be more isolated by the time we get to 2, 3 o'clock. But some of these storms are likely going to try forming supercell characteristics. And we think of supercells, these are kind of storms that are more isolated, that are by themselves. They don't have to fight other storms for that energy. So that's going to allow for the tornado potential, unfortunately, to be higher today. We'll see if they develop, but if they do, they will have that tornado threat. Better coverage, though, is expected later in this evening. Still likely the potential for some supercell development. Further into the evening, though, likely to more coalesce into this type of a squall line. Still, though, we are going to have the potential for damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes throughout the rest of this evening as these storms move further to the south and east. So here in the metro, expect impacts 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, moving further to the south and east the later we go into the evening, finally moving towards the Pine Belt about 10, 11 midnight, and then pushing off in the early morning hours of Thursday. But with all of this being said, we're going to get a lot of rain. We're going to have the potential for tornadoes as well as damaging winds and that large hail, unfortunately. Rainfall amounts could be 2 to 3 inches for many. This is going to be over a very short period of time. With that, flash flooding is a major concern today as well. The Weather Prediction Center has a moderate level 3 out of 4 risk for flash flooding south of Interstate 20 going over towards the Pine Belt. This is something we are definitely going to be paying attention to. This afternoon, we'll have those temperatures back in the upper 70s. That's going to allow for the fuel needed for these storms, that warm air, as well as those high dew points. That, combined with a few other ingredients, are going to make for a nice setup, unfortunately, for strong to severe storms. Gusty winds as well, winds gusting up to 20 miles an hour. Overnight lows back in the low 60s, near 61 degrees. So storms will clear out early, though. So really, by the time we get to the early morning hours, most, if not all, of central Mississippi and the Pine Belt will have dried out, and the threat for severe weather will be over. We're going to have that cold front pass today, briefly knocking our highs down into the low 70s for Thursday, warming back up, though, as we go into the weekend. Here's that front moving further to the south and east. That's going to take the threat for severe weather out by early tomorrow morning. It's likely to stall, though, as it moves down towards the Gulf Coast. That's going to keep the chance for showers and thunderstorms in the forecast through the weekend. Best chances of rain today, and then by the time we get to Mother's Day, more rain in store. So all this being said, you need to be weather aware this afternoon, have multiple ways to receive those warnings through this afternoon and evening. Before you go to bed tonight, turn that ringer on high so that way any alerts can get through to your phone. Keep up with us here at WJTV. We'll be here throughout the night tracking these storms. Thankfully, the weather improves a little bit. At least the severe weather threat will go away past today, still keeping the potential for isolated showers and thunderstorms for Thursday and Friday. Better chances of rain by this weekend, with those temperatures warming back up into the low 80s.